October 23rd, Sunday. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day, although the air still feels muggy, and amidst the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends that I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs where Ash is waiting for me in his car. His hair is a shelved mess, eyes drowsy, and overall looking like he hurried to get out of bed. Or fell out of it. Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way. But I'm not going to tell him that. I'd only bloat his unbearable ego. Yeah.
Good morning, Ash.
He makes a motion with his finger around his ear. Turn it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hand. Hang on. And nothing more. Yeah. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that I'm thankful to every god in the universe. Less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. Ha! That's the reason my mornings are my favorite. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination. The small cafe situated in Luxbourne Street, the same one I'd often visit with Becca for its cheap food. Never gone here on a Sunday, and striking how different it appears with the usually weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home. The university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me soon as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work. But still, I don't know him. I'm spite of the fact both Ash and Becca have vouched for him. What will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm scared crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I try in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead. Hard.
That hurts. What was that for?
He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up to him. Puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. So rude.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite. He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Huh?
What was that last one? Hey, don't just ignore me.
All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to it chimes softly, announcing our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in. Like the usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons, but most of the customers have forgone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and beanbags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know to have something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. As she leads me to a secluded spot near the window where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated, enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face at the older man's admonishment. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent has just scolded him, but it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student at mental. With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seats opposite him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time, but I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here. I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
Ah, right, sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Well, the Philippines had some Spanish colonies, I think.
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't listen to anyone, more like. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict and to an extent someone severe, but Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personable kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. Aww. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with. Let's hear it then.
I give Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell, after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion. Now I'm cursed. Exactly as I have told Ash and Zack when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use saying it now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my problems.
I'm sure it's that letter I found. But I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anslem Village, aren't we?
How did you...
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study, but fascinating.
Tell me more.
It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me. Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history. And it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you, Miss Santos.
What about me?
Yeah, what about her?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing. In the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
My head is starting to spin from all of this. I'm not the smartest person around, but I understand what he's trying to get at. I think it's still too much to take in at once. I look at Ash for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in a frown. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it'll crack soon.
There's still something you're not telling.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rights, then you proceeded to drop the topic right after. What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hannah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
Ah, I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want once they set their eyes on it. From what I've heard, word gets around.
A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Popular or not, they're just my clients. Albeit a little pushy, but just clients. End of story. I wish he'd stop pestering me about him. Well, I'm not going to tell him to shut up, too. You're going to say, I know you're trying to help. And it went up. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? The pesky, annoying kind. I wish I could remember. I could certainly use the same trick right about now.
Ashton, look here. I know you're trying to help, but the deal's almost already closed. The papers are being prepared. Once it's done, it's over. I'm just their agent.
And when is that happening?
When what? Is there even a purpose to this line of questioning?
Your working relationship with them. When's it going to end?
About a week from now. It depends on how long the approval process would take, but they wanted us to rush it.
Really? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, really. Unless they want to buy a house again and want me and Rose to be their agent. If yes, then I don't see a problem with it. Now stop annoying me about it.
Don't accept it.
What? Why? It's my job.
Oh Lord, even my youngest siblings aren't this difficult to deal with. Then again, Ash is far from a younger sibling to me. If you'd only spell it out, surely I'd understand. We don't even have to talk about it right now. That's how it is, right? Find an even ground, talk about it like the adults we are. I wasn't like this before, but somewhere along the way, something has changed in us, as people, as friends. I wish there was a way I could tell when or why. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite. I see that hasn't changed.
Oh, really? How is he back when he was your student? I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Please tell me
Tried to sleep
more.
on the first day of class. He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though. But there was this one time when...
When I end the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him. He's never been one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and he has a personal vendetta against mornings. Now it feels it isn't that hard to figure out after all. It's past noon when Andrew has to leave us for another meeting. But before we separate...
Miss Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases like this, things aren't always what they seem.
Naturally, the mention in the letter was brought up several times during our talk. And while Ash is right in that Andrew offers a different perspective, He has left me with more questions than answers instead. What is she? What does she want from me? Is she ever going to leave me? They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back.
Where are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops his car in front of a small, nondescript food stall, little ways away from the movie house. If I wasn't paying close attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait as he gets off the car and walks in its direction. Jeez, if you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. Makes you look more like a dog than cool. The wait isn't long, however. Soon he's walking back, holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands. Ice cream? Parfait? A cross of the two? By the time he's back inside the car, I've given up on any effort to figure out what he bought. Not that it looks bad. It's actually quite cute.
Here, take it.
I have to move my head back a little when he thrusts it at me, to avoid the ice cream and the fruit toppings from ending up on my nose.
What's this for?
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3, 2.
With a wary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown in my face, because he chuckles as soon as I take another one.
Saw the place open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
Do I need to have a reason?
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing with Ashton Frey. He does not just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. Hell, he even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle! Of all the people who'd asked me that. I'd have expected such requests from Becca, but Ash? Not at all. If I am going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with that expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying this.
The other day? The movie with
He's
Zach
blushing.
and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, during the movie, we, that's to say, we, shit, should have written down something first.
Get to the point, Ashton.
Right, I'm sorry.
What?
Not, I'm sorry for, not getting to the point. I'm sorry for the other day. I got carried away. I said things that upset you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay? That's all? That's all you're going to say? You're not still angry, are you?
You didn't have to buy me anything. A simple sorry would have been enough.
I buy into the current again. A small attempt to keep myself occupied and relieve the heat crawling up my face. Oh, she's blushing too! It doesn't work, but at least I don't have to look at him. Why I'm feeling embarrassed over an apology. I have no idea. It's not like it wasn't called for. They were being mean, especially him, and in that fraction of a second it hits me. He skipped his day off just for today. I should be the one apologizing and thanking him. Silence is an awkward company while we finish our respective snacks. There are words for this. For people like us, for understanding a sentiment like this. Yet, in this instant, they won't come. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after. Phrases unsaid still hanging heavily in the air. In this weather, the city park gives off a lazier and more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are now people lying, leaning back on their picnic blankets and simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drifts from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one would catch the whiff of freshly trimmed grass. Maybe I should try walking home today. To get my mind off things. To try and find the words somehow. I haven't done that in a while.
Thanks, Ash, for today.
No problem. Say hi to Rebecca for me.
Yeah, I will.
Even so, I linger. We both do. A mild, humid breeze brings the smell of dried leaves, warmed earth, and a far-off distant memory of false starts and awkward first meetings. Same place, same people, playing the same parts. Funny how all of the days, my brain just remember it now.
Wait, Belle.
Ash exits his car. His strides are unsteady when he approaches me. Or maybe this is his uncertainty showing? I'm not quite sure. He has never looked uncertain to me before. Always calm, always sure, always collected. He stops a short distance from me, close enough that he's within an arm's reach, but just far enough for his voice to be heard over decent small talk. If this is what it's going to be. He fumbles for something in his pockets.
Here, catch.
The small bag lands cleanly on my outstretched hands before it hits the ground. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he responds by shrugging and stuffing both his hands back to his pockets. Somewhere to the side, he finds an interesting spot to look at. Sometimes you have to wait. Papa's the long go. For once, this time, I listen. His voice is halting, hesitant, when he finds it again.
My mom used to make me carry around one of those when I was young. To ward off evil and bring you luck, she said. I don't believe in this kind of thing now. But if it makes you feel safe, since you're a total scaredy cat, then I guess it's okay to give you one.
Perhaps, at the moment, there aren't any words for it. I've never been good with those. But right now, I can thank him in the best way I know. I close the short distance separating us. And lightly, in places of phrases one could spin together or answer to aid to seek out, I lean over and give him a little peck on the cheek. No. The touch is short, fleeting, the kind that speaks volumes of boundaries we don't often cross as friends. Nevertheless, the thought is there. It lingers in the gentle autumn wind that passes, in the empty space separating us when I step back and look up at him with a smile. It's easy to express gratefulness this way, isn't it? At least with my own family, that's the case. For the two of us, I'm not quite sure. Did he understand? After all, gratitude is considerably harder to put into words when you've spent the latter half of your friendship teetering between good-natured jests and ruffling each other's feathers. Seconds pass before he clears his throat. His face has gone remarkably red, whether from the heat or something else, I can't quite tell. But he understands. I know he does, because the smile on him when he finally meets my eye is the gentlest I've seen him show.
I, gotta go. Got some reports I forgot to file the other day.
Yeah, see you around. Thanks for the ice cream and the charm.
Don't lose it. You won't find one here again if you do.
I won't. I might move like I have 2 left feet, but I know how to take care of my own stuff. I'm not a total klutz.
I know.
In Belle, remember that one time? Devlin Court?
All the clarity in the world.
You... At the time, when we... What I'm trying to say is that you can rely on me if something... anything happens. Not the exact same thing, of course, but you get the idea. I'll be around.
I'll keep that in mind. You're not that bad after all.
Before leaving, he waves at me one last time. The next time we talk, we'll be back the way we are. Because at the end of the day, that's how things have always moved between us. What we're familiar with, what we're comfortable with. But for all that, it's always easy to put my own fate in him. I just hope I can keep them safe. Keep him safe. A light wind blows again, sending dried leaves swirling on a distinct smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the groceries too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park? Let's have a quick look though. It went up, it went up. Me like. The cat's name is Perutio. Or at least that's what his collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace, much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest, or wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me after all. It was a bad idea, carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries, without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have bought all of these at the same time, and even to make it past the park. And now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back home, they are considered ill omens.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
None of that ever acted graceful in my life. Of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and sisters does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use mopping. A short breather, and then I'm off home. Besides, isn't it like the company's bad? Even if it's a cat, as long as it doesn't bite or crosses my path?
Well, where's your owner anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paws, though. What happened to it? Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets.
Aw.
I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put one into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to, but I take his unblinking gaze as a yes. I shift a piece in my palm and hold it out to him warily. He sniffs at it once, twice, before.
Borussia!
A good, properly trained pet, Perugia responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCulloch, hard to miss with height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Bruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Bruthiel's a she.
Oops. She? All this time, I thought. The pause in conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely two people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meeting like this don't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right? No, let's not talk about a cat. She wanted to dig herself a bit deeper. Let's talk about her job.
I'm just curious about your work.
Oof.
What about it?
There is something guarded in her expression at mention of work, but I push through with my question.
I just want to know how it is to work on a house like the Ermengarde Mansion. Is it hard?
I guess she wasn't expecting a question like that. The way her eyebrows shot up tells me something.
Because of its age? I wouldn't say it is. It is a challenge, considering the factors me and my team have sought out. But it's a good project. A breath of fresh air from what I usually work on. And I have a good team. Those original fittings, though. It might be old, but the architecture is magnificent. I'm sure you've seen the stained glass windows in the foyer. Oh, I can already think of so many things I could do with it. But of course, my team will have to double check for necessary repairs here and there. That's probably for the best. It's easy to break some key elements with a rush restoration job, and who knows what other hidden issues there might be underneath. People can be so careless. I'm sorry, I spoke too much.
No, it's okay. You seem to really love what you're doing.
It's not really like that. I'm just lucky to have found work in an interesting field. Anyway, Bruthiel's due for her visit to the vet. Nice talking to you, Miss Santos. I wish you luck with what you're planning to work on. It seems like a big project, too.
She gestures with her head towards the bags. The ones filled with stuff I've recently bought from the art store.
It's a project for a friend, actually.
All the same. Good luck.
I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park and the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she has forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde Mansion, with my clients, it's the rights, I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Ah, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion, the
letter, same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCulloch that urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They are real. She's not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hastened to pick all the bags I've left on the bench and ran as far as my legs can take me. In that moment when I'm carrying my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house. Of her. Of my own cowardice. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what's gnawing at me tonight. Neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loud in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when the things you're trying to forget keeps returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone has kept telling me, so why and that... Immediately I rushed to my study table in search of my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings slightly to it as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device. But I paid no mind. There are more important things. Right now, I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago and she was okay. No. It isn't Rose. I'm sure of it. I just talked to her and... The sun escapes me and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. The same one that has put the people I care about in danger. My hand shakes as I navigate to Rose's number on my contact list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the works, and call me once afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Again and again I dial, whispering, praying, pleading.
Come on, Rose. Don't do this to me. Please pick up. I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
The reruns loud in the background. A deafening static sounds from my phone speakers, but in my ears I can only hear the screams. Her pleas, her whispers. You're not safe. Ooh. A buzzing sensation jolts me awake. My body still wants to sleep, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. But it's there, nudging, prodding at me. Slowly I become aware of how awkward my position is, and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curled up position the night before. If I even slept at all. Memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier when you say it out loud, and instead the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me? Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at? I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else had gotten involved. I should have... The notification light on my laptop blinks insistently, mockingly. I look at it as if it's calling me back to a sense of normalcy. I check it, nevertheless, out of habit, more than anything. If this is where one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. So to all PRC employees, in light of the recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company changes, new hierarchy and policies will all be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is exposed to bring a copy of their own attendance, logs and sales. Reports for the last 6 months to be submitted to your respective managers for review. But today my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going to keep me busy, take my mind elsewhere. On the other, the place in itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. Rose was murdered in her own home too. I really don't want it to happen to her. Let's go to work. I don't want to die. I don't want her to die. I don't want her to die. Moping won't get me anywhere. This is just like one of those things, isn't it? You deal with it with a smile, no matter how bad things get, and hope for the best. Although my whole body feels like lead and my limbs are sore, I push myself away from the chair and head for the shower. The letter I dropped on the floor last night follows open as I pass by, unfolding for no one else but me to see. Every word written on it glares back at me. They sneer, they ridicule, like living beings fully aware of what they've done. For a half, I pick it up and shove it into my bag, perhaps with more anger and frustration I'm used to showing. This, too, I'll deal with. Somehow, I'll find a way and make things right. I have to, before it takes more people from me. Look at the picture frames. Look, just notice it now. This will be our family. Even if I must do it on my own. Papers rustling, telephones ringing, feet shuffling. Overall, the day looks like a typical working day at a prior reality corporation. Except, it isn't. The air is thick with tension and unspoken questions. No doubt everyone present has already heard about Rose. If they have missed last night's report, they'd likely see it in the morning news, in the papers, or various news sites on the internet. Everywhere is a better reminder. In fact, everyone's given me a wide berth. I thought the mere mention of Rose will be enough to trigger something in me. It's appreciated, but it only serves to create a bigger hole in the place Rose has left. After lunch, my boss calls for a meeting. I don't have to look up from my work to know what it is about. He's in a strange, pensive mood today, probably out of respect for a dead colleague. Oddly, I'd appreciate it more if he just shouted at me today. Anything is better.
I'm sure you've all heard of what happened to Miss Cooper. She was a valued member of our team and she will be missed. There's no date for a funeral, yet, but those who wish to attend, kindly speak with your respective supervisors. By the way, has anyone heard about our still AWOL staff?
I think the same thing happened to them.
None? HR, you know what to do. Santos, a word? In my office?
At the end of it, I've been given the entirety of Rose's workload, including finalizing the right papers and I've been promised an ample compensation for my efforts. I think he expects me to be happy about it. Instead, I immerse myself in my work. I have to, anyway, if I want to forget. Time flies when you do, and by the time I give notice, it's already late. Everyone's already gone. Don't come in the company, please. Leaving me in the company of a radio and a member of our janitorial staff. I don't even know his name. Rose likely does. She remembers people easily like that.
The Luxbourne Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
The radio blares one name after another. Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they? Still, I have to check. Frantic, I turn back to my desktop. The loud tapping on my fingers against the keys fills the office to the better part of my shift as I look through everything. The background about the place, its history for the current owners, and list of employees hired on the PRC. And I'm right. Of course I am. PRC may have a lot of staff, they may have a lot of agents hired, but remember those names anywhere. After all, they are also part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mansion for the open house. Then the letters. No, they can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
Something snaps into place in the fraction of a moment. I've got goosebumps again. These people, Rose, the letter.
I need to... No, if it's like this, they still won't believe me. I have to make sure of it first.
Evidence doesn't lie. That's what Ash often says, right? If I have proof, then maybe. I don't want to get my hopes up yet, but maybe there's still a way I can save them. The letter, my phone, papers, anything that will be useful. I grab all of them and stuff them in my bag. I can't stay here. There's something I need to do. There's something those people should... The noise cut sharp into the room, slowing my hand short, cramming a pen into my bag.
Hello?
No.
Anyone there?
So I must have left the printer open again. I may be in a hurry, but if I don't turn it off, another person is certainly going to have a fit tomorrow over wasted company resources. Let me make a quick save, please. Most of the time, it's Rose who does the nagging, but picking off my pen in my hand is a welcome distraction as I search for the said object. Each stride my feet takes also echoes throughout the empty workplace. I've lost sight of the janitor minutes ago, and with me being the only one left, the tapping of my feet against the wooden floor is something I soon learn to appreciate. It doesn't take me long to find it. By the time I turn it off, 5 pages are already strewn about on the ground. The paper tray having also been left ajar. Sighing, I pick each of it up to put someplace proper. But the page that greets me next makes my blood run cold. The chill that makes its way up my spine is as numbing as that day in the attic. The sheets crinkle in my tense grip. All I can hear is my breathing as I grasp through my gritted teeth. But before I can even gather myself, take the first steps out of here, total darkness suddenly envelops me. Oh no. And as I'm hearing every horrid thought running inside my head right now, something snaps. A soft creak, grating through the thin veil of stillness that has descended in the room. Every muscle, every bone in my body goes rigid at the sound. Familiar. So familiar now. Yet my own traitorous curiosity still presses me to take a careful peek over the cubicle's wall. It's her. Standing the only exit of the office, albeit facing away from me. She doesn't even need to turn around for me to know it's the same misshapen face, tattered clothes, and unsightly gait. Same person in the attic. I take a step back. Then I'm holding slips on my hand and her entire head turns. I scream, almost escapes from my hand, and I tug on my taper as quick as I can. My heart is biting hard against my chest. I can hear the bone-chilling sound of her walk, the weird clicking that follows her, and the telltale squelch of something red as she walks towards me. Nearer and nearer. The sounds are slowly getting louder. The only thing keeping the whimper from escaping me is my hand as it covers my mouth. Someone, please save me. Anyone. I close my eyes, muttering a continuous stream of prayers, all while attempting to steady my own breathing. Please, please let her hear me. Okay. The seconds, minutes stood out before me, agonizingly. Is she gone? Slowly open my eyes to take a peek. I don't dare move or make a noise. In the face of such terror, I can only beg that outside please to wherever it's out there. Please, please don't let her notice. I want to live! I'm going to stop it here. I will upload her another time. But for now, I have to recuperate from Isabella. Let me know what you thought of this playthrough so far. I have to wrap my head around it and get over the scares for a bit. But I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.